friends, I decided in our group to put a few stories about my childhood in the USSR in English. I welcome bug fixes. Childhood in the USSR. Our sweet city. I was born in Petropavlovsk, in a small provincial town in the north of Kazakhstan. Our city had a famous namesake, a small town in the far east of Russia, which was called Petropavlovsk-Kamchatsky. The whole country knew this city, but no one heard about my hometown, so when I had to travel outside my small homeland, for example, to the sea with my parents, people asked me, "Where are you from, girl?" Then, when people heard Petropavlovsk, they immediately asked, "Kamchatka?" That was several. It's a shame. Once, when I was still in school in the 2nd grade, during a visit to the museum, his employee told the legend of the Russian cunning fugitive peasants. 2 little men with names Peter and Paul escaped from the landowner and, moving to the east, came across steppes of northern Kazakhstan. Friends turned to the landowner with a request, "Master, please give us some land on the border with the cowhide. What are you gonna do about it?" The landlord asked in surprise. "To live," said the man. "Yeah, how can you two fit on such a small piece?" The master laughed. "Of course we will. We will build the house," said with confidence men. "You just give me this piece of land, and there I will show." Silly Bai was interested to see how men can build a house on such a small plot of land, and he agreed, and smart friends turned the skin in half, cut it in the middle, and then cut it into thin straps, then from the center to the edge, then from the edge to the center, but each time not cutting to the end. When they unfolded the skin, it turned out that its borders occupy a huge territory. Bai was terribly surprised, but he had nowhere to go. The land became the property of cunning peasants. Peter and Paul laid the city, which later became known as Petropavlovsk. In fact, in 1752 the construction of the defensive fortress of St. Paul in Ishim began, and the city was gradually formed around the fortress, as it was at the intersection of trade routes from Central Asia to Russia. I grew up in an ordinary Soviet family, which had a father, mother, grandmother, me and my brother. All of our numerous successfully housed in 2 rooms. And it didn't even occur to me that some families were different. That is, it is good to have your own territory, where you can, at least sometimes, retire and relax from society. Although, frankly, I'm not too tired. In one room lived parents, and in the other brother with grandmother and I. My mother worked as an engineer at the plant and had a very mild, calm character. She never made me do housework, thinking all this routine was waiting for me to grow up. My mother never scolded me for bad grades at school, if any. She never lectured, never grumbled, never punished. Even if I was scolded at the teachers' meeting, and I told my mother that I was abused unfairly, that I was pretty harassed and bullied, because my kind mother, instead of punishing her carefree child, began to comfort me. And only twice at the age of 3 years I had the honor to be flogged. The first time, for the fact that as a mole bites holes in the hem of the dress, and the second time for what fell to the floor in the store, demanding to buy me a toy. This form of educational process had an effect. The dress was still intact, and a desire to get something through hysteria is gone.